Good evening, everyone. How are you all doing? Excuse me. Can you hear me okay? Is this thing on? I'm pretty sure it's on. So, welcome to another exciting episode of the Social and Distancing Show, where it is run solo by me tonight. Um, I I am so excited because it's the episode before Christmas, right? And um, last week I had so much fun doing the episode that I did on Christmas and comics. I was like, I'm just going to do it again because I just want to have fun. And I did not do a lot for Christmas this year. So I have barely been able to scrape by gifts and um, plan for our meal on Monday. And we're going to go watch a movie, right? So I thought it'd be cool for us to kind of just talk about what is happening up for Christmas and then roll into some of the comic books because I pulled out some really fun comic books over here. You know, I got some of this, I got some of this, I got some of this. And so I want to get to all of that, but I need to I want to get through the Christmas stuff too because that it makes me have a good time, right? And so I wanted someone to come on and talk Christmas with me, right? And she couldn't though because she's doing Christmas stuff right now with her family actually. But she was like, I'd be happy to share some Christmas photos with you, and then you can show them online. I was like, yes, that would be perfect actually, because I don't have anything in my own right now, and so to be able to show off someone else's, I was like, I'd absolutely love that. So I got some of their pictures lined up over here, and I am going to go through them because I thought it was so encouraging, so impacting. Pardon me, and I love the Christmas time, and this year not being able to um, plan very much and um, do anything really this year. It was really something I wanted to make sure that I could, share somewhere somehow with someone. So that's what I'm doing, and let me get back, scroll up to the top so I can go through some of these pictures. Now, I downloaded them so I could show with y'all, but I love Christmas time, guys. When I think of Christmas, I think of not just it's the reason for the season, Jesus being the reason for the season and things like that, but I generally feel like during this time of the year, people seem to have like a softer heart towards things, right? Um, they feel like, or I feel that they are more prone to goodness towards each other, to sharing and caring and giving. And don't get me wrong, there's negative things that happen during the season too. I'm not saying that it's gone completely, but during this time of the year, I feel like people have more of an open heart towards the softer things, right? And so my heart, I'm in my world, I'm like anything that just produces that softness for folks and it's a little bit more easier to give, like I feel encouraged by it, right? And so again, I get that it's not a 100% blanket statement that can apply to everyone, but let's be honest with ourselves. Like a lot of people, and I'm sure you're thinking to yourself too, like you do have a softer heart towards things, and it does make you feel um, warm and all fuzzy inside. You think about it like families get together. We don't just share a meal, and I'm one of those where I'm like, eating is great, food is fun, but when you share a meal with family and friends, it's just there's something more that gets full than just your bellies. Excuse me. And and so and people making plans to get together in the family. There's people ringing bells out in stores and giving money. There's white elephant gifts that are happening at work. There's all these just little cute things that are going on, and folks just feel a little bit more happier to give and things like that. And so I love this time of the year because of that. I love how it just makes me feel like people care a little bit more, and that's fantastic. So anyway, I can participate and give back out in that sense really helps out. Some years ago we used to do the pineapple project, and we haven't done it in a couple of years, but I won't say it hasn't gone away. We just haven't really pushed it. So, but I would have loved to really push it this year, but it just didn't happen, and that's fine. That's fine. So, but with that, let me go ahead and share my screen here and start showing some of these pictures because I want to get to them and I want to get to the comic books tonight. So It is the episode before Christmas, and I would love to be able to address that. So let's see. Do I get window Christmas share? Hold on. All right. All right. So one of our very, very good friends, she couldn't make it to the show, but she was like, I am doing a family thing with my daughter, and I would be happy to share some photos and some stuff. And so here's what it is. So they did their Christmas day. So CPJ, very good friend of the show, excuse me, she has a Christmas party every year, and she always outdoes herself. It's amazing. It's a beautiful, and it's almost like a gala at times, right? Like she makes all the decorations in all the place settings and everything. It's just this really planned out, thoughtful, purposeful event. And so they have this building that she built on the side of their home or right close to their home that, if you didn't know, she runs this business. She has a small business called Spoiled Cotton, and she does a lot of really neat shirts, dressings, not like salad dressings, but clothes and different items like that. And if you're a part of her Facebook group, she's always dropping this stuff that you can buy and out there. And she's made shirts for us in the past, and they've always been phenomenal. I still wear mine. I love them. And I always tell myself I need to give her a call and order a new or updated, not another shirt so that I can keep so that the old ones don't waste away. You know what I'm saying? And so it was really interesting. She told me one of the first things that they wanted to do with this building was they wanted to use it for the kingdom of God. And so they decided to serve family and friends so they can show them the true meaning of Christmas and the magic, um, and really just kind of delve into it all. And I was like, oh man, that really made my heart warm up inside. And so I liked it. And so she was practicing generosity, and that's what some of these pictures came from, right? And I was just like, look at this. I love this. So I'm not sure if these are cookies or ornaments because I can see CPJ doing both. And CPJ, if you're there, hey, Anita, she is here. So CPJ is watching, and so is Anita. Good evening, y'all. And so, oh yeah. So here's a I'm not sure if I can tell it's a photo frame, but I just love that this is how she works. Like this is how she thinks through things and creates and gets people in it, right? And so there's a picture of her and her lovely husband. And it's crazy because I look at this and I'm like, I mean, it must have been grandiose, right? Like when you see the background and the tree and everything, I'm like, this had to be an amazing event that really showcased the space that they used it and just her ability to share with so many people though. Oh, here we go. She says, those are cookies that Santa handed out. Aw. So I love that. See, let's keep going on. So, and then these, so I see some like maybe peanut butter or chocolate chip cookie, maybe both up here. And I can't tell if this is maybe like some brittle of some kind or like a toffee, popcorn toffee of something. But I love that there are options out there, and sweets are always going to be a fun little thing to add to any Christmas party. So I love it. And then what does it say? Maddie's letter to Santa Claus. And so Maddie is CPJ's daughter. I can't believe that's your daughter, CPJ. Okay, let me just say, like, I am like, where did the years go? Like, where's the little girl that was wearing pineapple earrings or and quote unquote shy-ish or whatever, you know what I mean? She is growing up too fast. Oh wow. And I'm sure you're feeling it, right? Okay, so here she says, those are Cocoa Puff peanut butter candy my mom used to make. I grew up with that container tree thing. Oh, this, okay. See, I like that. I like that when you have family heirlooms that are kind of keep passing down and stuff. And so this is cute, but these are Cocoa Puff peanut butter candy. Oh, that sounds good. That goes right in line. Like that is just a sweet treat to have. All right. And so there's Maddie again there at the barn, or not the barn, the future home of Spoiled Cotton. Um, hey, John. John says, nice CPJ. Let's see what we have here. Letters to Santa. These are pillows, maybe, or a bag. It's hard to tell because it looks like she's reaching in there. But I love that the little kids are there and they're enjoying their time. It looks like they're wearing pajamas, even, or one of them is, maybe. Here we go. More kids just being blessed with a little ornament, it looks like. Oh, okay. CP says it's a mailbox. Okay, so then obviously they're legitimately putting their letters to Santa in there. That's so cute. And here we go. This little guy over here showing off an ornament, I believe. All the kids out their letters in the box. All the kids put their letters in the box. Okay, gotcha. So there must have been a ton of kids there, right, CPJ? And I love it. I was telling one of my kids about how I was really excited for them to open their gifts on on Monday, and they were like, "Why?" And I was like, "I just like seeing you open your gifts, kid. Jeez, I just want to see you having a good time and enjoying, and just seeing these tokens of love that we have for y'all. So that's all. No ulterior motive or anything like that." And here we go. This must be Santa. So the kids are there. Maybe he's reading their letters or reading a story. I think those are letters right there, right? And so all the kids are just captivated. Man, you have a fireplace in your area, CPJ, right? Um, Anita says, "Oh, great pick, CPJ." I agree. I agree. Let's see. We have here is another photo of Santa from a different angle. He's just reading the letters, it looks like. This was awesome. So Santa made a special trip to your place, CPJ, right? And he was reading letters, handing out candy and gifts. I take it, right? Aw, man, look at that! Like even the rug. So you did put a rug. You put the fire out there. You brought a Santa. You brought the lights. You were really set up for this Christmas thing. You were really working to make sure that people were encouraged, right? Excuse me. I don't know why I'm coughing over here when I got a big glass of water. Excuse me. More Santa. What is this? Is he handing out candies right here, CPJ? I can't tell. Oh, the cookies. He's handing out the cookies. How long did this whole thing last, CPJ, from beginning to end? Aw. It's nice when you have hookups, right? When you got that hookups, and you can get Santa to come out here. CPJ, yeah, he is handing out the cookies. Got it. More what? It looks like it's funny right here. It looks like there's a little creature down there. He's popping his head out of the bag, and they're drinking. So okay, this is fun. Man, I wish I could have been there, CPJ. It looks like it was just a ton of fun, and everyone just being in all the festivities. I think this is like some sort of craft table, right? Excuse me. Sorry. John, look out for your pets, Hyman. I actually sold the ferrets. They are no longer with us. They went off to a nice home. The couple actually drove like 7 hours to come get them, and the 7 hours back. And the last I spoke to them, they made it home safely, and they were like, "Yes, we have a girl ferret that may be joining the family soon, so they're going to have a total of 3 ferrets." And I was like, "Oh gosh, they're just going to have fun. All three of them have fun together." So, yep, no more pets here, John. CPJ 4 p.m. started with a tractor slash hayride, and then Santa arrived at 8 and went back to the North Pole about 10. Wow, so he was really hanging out and chilling, wasn't he? Anita says CPJ has great connections with the North Pole. I know. Everyone, if you're ever needing that connection, reach out to CBJ and see what she can pull out the Santa's hat for you. Are you reading a story here, CPJ, or are you playing some music? I can't tell. but I love that all the kids are you've got all their attention. So I know I keep saying it, but I just love the decorations here. I love all this, how it just looks so stinking festive. I wish I could do that in my house right now. We had, I'm going to be open. We had a very messy house, and that contributed to me not being able to do any of the Christmas decorating. But we have family coming over this weekend. I was like, I'm going to start trying to clean. And I was like, I'm not doing it right. So we got some help from some outside folks, and they came in, and it is absolutely pristine here now. I was like, wow. They came and helped us out, and I was just floored. And so now I'm like, I'm starting to get that energy. I'm like, I want to put the Christmas tree up. I want to put Christmas lights up. But it's this weekend. I'm like, I don't know. And so I left to Chicago today, and I got back, and my daughter, maybe my wife, but I think mostly my daughter, my youngest, she was outside putting lights on the tree in one of the bushes. And so I was like, bless her heart. She really wanted there to be some semblance of Christmas this year. And if you know me from the years past, I usually have my Christmas tree up at least after Halloween. And so this year, yeah. And I know if I usually don't get my tree up at the latest by Thanksgiving, at the weekend after Thanksgiving, then it usually doesn't go up until the weekend before Christmas, kind of thing. And that's what happened here. And it was more just because the house was messy and I just didn't have a lot of energy because it's been a little rough this year. But, you know, I'm not gonna stress about it too much. And there's many more Christmases coming, so I can just wait for the next one. CPJ said, "I'm reading the meaning of Christmas that was in the frame shown with the cookies." Oh, okay. So the first picture that I showed off, nice man. That is a big picture frame, then, huh? John, no skunks allowed here. Okay. All right. And then we have here are some hot chocolate mugs, I suppose, right? What do they say? Madeline, Carrie, Matt, and Tyler. Oh, okay, okay. Did you make those, CBJ? I could totally see you making those. Those are cute, using all the letters and then decorating each of the letters. Man, that is fancy. Were you selling those on Spoiled Cotton, or were these like limited edition and now they're sold out, never to be brought back again in the future? Um, because if so, those are pretty fancy. And did you make up the font for all that? I love it. I love it. John says, nice. I agree. I agree. Joe says, sorry, dude. We are out doing last minute Christmas shopping. CPJ says, those are the mugs that Santa gave to every guest we had, parents and grandpa. Oh, get out of here, CPJ. That is amazing. Come on now. You are so stinking thoughtful. Like, I hope God just blesses you immeasurably, because I feel like you are definitely one of the hosts of not just the Christmas spirit, but like a generous spirit. Like, I know I have personally just benefited from your generosity and your charity. And I hope that many other people get to feel that, and that it really encourages them. And honestly, it spurs them on to spread generosity and charity as well. You're absolutely amazing, CPJ. So yeah, she says of course she made those. Like I'm like, what would I expect? I wouldn't expect anything less, right? Um, and not in a bad way. Just as like it just doesn't surprise me. It just doesn't surprise me. So these are absolutely gorgeous, CPJ. If I see these next year and they're on spoiled cotton, I will make sure to order some for my family up here because I think they would be absolutely cute. Here we go. Let's see. I think there was a story with this one, right? Let me look, because CPJ sent me some text over here, and I want to make sure I can correlate right. See, okay. Oh, so yeah, there is a background. She says all the children went on a scavenger hunt for all the decorating symbol of Christmas. They all were ornaments, and Santa taught the kids what each symbol means, and then the child would decorate the tree you see in the picture. So that's the one we're showing right now, right? Or maybe the tree in the background. So the wreath equals eternal love. The star equals light of the world. Santa equals spirit of generosity. Holy leaf and red beads equals crown of thorns and bloodshed. Candy cane hook equals we are to be a shepherd of men. Tree equals needles point heavenward. An angel equals glory to God in the highest, peace and goodwill to everyone. Gifts equal Jesus is the true gift. They also filled out their Santa letters and he read them. He then gifted all guests, moms and dads and grandparents too, a mug with their names personalized in an elf font. Now, each year the families can drink hot chocolate together and remember what Santa taught them. Oh, CPJ. Oh man. It's like I I don't even know what to say. That is so intricate. The detail is outstanding, CPJ. It is amazing. I am so happy that I call or I reached out to you to share because even though you couldn't be here tonight, to be able to share this stuff, like that's what I wanted. Like I'm getting little goosebumps on me in a good way because I'm like, yes, even though I'm cold on the outside, I'm like, I am getting warmed up in the inside. This is great stuff, CPJ. Absolutely great stuff. Okay. Um, it's so fantastic here. It's so fantastic. Um, don't worry, Joe. I'm just doing what I'm doing, so no biggie. You do what you do. Um, all right. So then, okay, we have this tree with a snowman, and I always love the decorations. The girls are always like, "Dad, why don't we need decorations on the outside?" And I'm like, I know. You're right. That's what I tell them. Anita says, "Wow, that's amazing, CPJ. I love it." Right, Anita. It absolutely floors me. I am like, I love that she puts so much energy and so much effort. And I know CPJ a little bit, and I'm like, she's one of those people where it's like she is happy to give, and I don't know that she gets much back. I could be wrong. I'm not around that often to see what she gets back, but I feel like CPJ definitely gives out of you know generosity overflows from her heart and her spirit. And so this is great stuff. This is great. But I love the picture. This is gorgeous. So is this your tree in your house, CPJ, or is this the tree that we were seeing a minute ago? Because it doesn't look the same, so I don't think so, but you never know. And that board in the back, dear God, did you make that also? It says, when tomorrow starts without me, don't turn. I'm sorry, let me see. Oh, don't think we're far apart. For every time you think of me, I'm right here inside your heart. And I guess that's the cardinal. And I know that there's a story behind cardinals, right? Like when you see like cardinals represent your loved ones whenever they pass or something like that, right? I know I've heard that before. Oh man, that's a gorgeous tree. That's a gorgeous tree. Hey, you guys, if you want to send me pictures of your tree, I'd love to see them. So let me know. Look at this. You got your little photos. These are family members, right, CPJ? These are family members on these photo frames over here. Just a beautiful tree. I'm just noticing you decorated your tree with with cardinals in it too, right? She says that is one of my trees. That's my cardinal memorial tree I have in my dining area. All my loved ones are in there. Oh man. And then she says trees in plural, and I'm like, see, I think that's what I want to try to do next year is multiple trees, at least two, maybe three even. So I want one in the dining room or the living room where everyone is. That's where the main tree would be. I'd like to put one in our piano room. We have some bay windows over there. I'd like it just to sit. I'd like one to sit there, and then there's a space in the stairs on the second story where we have this giant window, and you could see the tree. I'd like to put, and nothing really big or fancy, but just noticeable from the outside that it is a Christmas tree. My family says it's too much and to stop thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah, okay. But now if you're confirming that you have multiple trees, now I'm gonna be like, look, if CPJ can do it, so can the pinas. Let's go. And someone sent me this really cool picture. I don't know if y'all saw it. I posted, maybe I didn't post. I don't do on Facebook much anymore. I am on Instagram more. But someone posted a picture of a Christmas tree that was in the shape of a freaking pineapple. How awesome was that, right? Like I was like, why have I not thought of making a Christmas tree in the shape of a pineapple? It made perfect sense. And so, yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do. Um, CPJ says, yes, that is my mom, dad, and mother-in-law. Oh, that tree, it reminds me of like, so, in Mexican culture, there's the Dia de los Muertos, and you make these things called ofrendas, and it's basic. It's kind of like a memorial. It's almost exactly what it is, and you put your loved ones on there, and you remember them, and the whole the myth or whatever you want to say, the story behind it is, when you remember them, it helps them pass, because of if in Mexican culture, if you forget your family, they don't get to pass on to the next stage in life, in death, kind of thing. So I love that yours. It's such a beautiful and sweet memorial. John says one in is CA room. One in is CA Comics Anonymous. I'm in the Comics Anonymous room, John. Okay. All right. Is this a different tree right here, CPJ? I feel like this one doesn't look like it has as much as the red in it as the one previous. And are these mistletoes or something else that I'm just not catching? I'm not very familiar with a lot of plant life and things like that. But I can just tell from this little part of the tree, it is beautiful. Yeah, see, look at this. What am I looking at? Is, She says, yes, that is the living room tree that spins. Oh, that's fancy. You got a tree that spins, CPJ? Send me a video of that at some point. Jeez, I need to see that. I like that star. The like twigs or whatever interwoven into it. More cardinals. Pretty. Is that a cornucopia right there? Looks like a cornucopia. That's a deer. Ah, okay. Oh, okay. I don't know why I didn't see it before. I see it now. That's so funny. Yeah, and then that. Oh, French horn. Okay, the French horn. And then what is this? Peacock feather. If you in antlers, these are antlers right there, right? She's gonna say it's just plants, fake plants, Hyman. That's all. Oh, see, and I love when trees are placed in front of windows or behind windows. I guess that's what you would say, and so people can see that. Interesting fact: I have my son's name is Joel, and when we spell it, it's spelled just like this, except with a J. And I told my wife because Superman's homeworld name was Kal-El, I wanted to name our son Joel, and so she was like, "No, not going to happen." Plus, I was like, I wanted him to have a J name, um, so we didn't name him Joel, but I made his middle name Joel, and so I was like, I'll get away with that. CPJ says, yes, antlers, yes, and a blue bottle brush plant. I have no idea what a bottle brush plant, but now I've seen what one looks like. Right there. Okay. Look at this. This elf on a tree, this jester on a tree. Your jester reminds me of the Mad books, the Mad magazine. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, or I'm just messed up right now. It looks a little old though, not in a bad way, but it looks like it's an antique almost. More antlers, right? Or the deer and his antlers. This is a really pretty tree, CPJ. Let's see. This says, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light for my path. From Psalms 129. That's all I can make out. Beautiful. I'm just like, wow. Wow. That's gorgeous, CPJ. Let's see. Um, oh, why did my phone disconnect? She had sent me some text, and my phone decided to be like, "We are disconnecting you." Some event alert. What is going on with my phone? Is acting weird. I can't see your messages anymore. There we go. I'll just read it from my phone. Um, yeah, beautiful tree. Here's my living room tree. It spins. I put a lamp in it each year so people will ask me, "What is that?" We are called to evangelize wherever we can. He is the light of the world. Ah, clever, clever. I love that. Okay. And so this one, she says, my grandmother gives each grandchild an ornament each year, so I decorate with mine. Oh, that is so pleasurable. Look at that. Carrie, 1985. Wow. CPG, you got your you have um yeah, I mean you have your oh, what am I trying to say? Your your oh, ornaments. You have your ornaments from so long ago. That is freaking awesome. I love that. Sorry, my head just kind of went right there. She says, my dad made that wooden plaque for me for my lamp that goes in the tree. Wow. Yes, I have ornaments for all my life for all of my life. That is amazing. There's some great discipline there because I am telling you, I would not be able to keep them whole. And part of that is because as a child growing up, we moved so much around Lubbock. I lived everywhere you could possibly imagine in Lubbock. And so we didn't have that grand opportunity to keep so much of our stuff. We always had to throw away every so often, lots of stuff and just go without. So every now and then I'll get some pictures that my mom finds from the past or some crazy cool thing. And it's like, whoa, it blows my mind away that there's something that exists from my past. Look at these pretty things. Candy canes, cookies, and gingerbread treats. So many wonderful holiday sweets. This pass along plate is sent with care. Enjoy, refill, and be sure to adhere. Or be be sure to share. CBJ, tell me, what does this pass around plate mean? Pass along plate. I imagine it shouldn't be that difficult, but what are the rules around it? So it sounds like cookies and candy canes are what's supposed to go on this plate, and that it gets passed around every so often. So or maybe it landed on you the last time from your parents, and that was you're the last one to have it. But I want to hear a little bit more of the story on here. So type that out and let us know, okay? I'll come back to it in a minute. And then, is this another Santa Claus or is this someone else? And anyway, let us know on that too, okay? I am always impressed with people who put pictures of their family or frames up of all this stuff. And I'm looking at this wall and I'm like, yeah, CPJ is no exception. I do love the Cardinals though, right there. And for those of y'all who don't know, the Cardinals not only do they have that symbolic meaning that we just said earlier, but here where I live, Illinois State University (ISU), their mascot is the Redbird, and so they're Red Birds. So just like Texas Tech has the Red Raiders, here we have the Red Birds. So CPJ says, well, you're supposed to share it around, but it was my mom, so it stays on my wall. I will give it to Madeline when she is older. Aw. Three cardinals for our three parents in heaven. So they are on my family wall. CPJ, you're so intentional about so many things. It's so impressive and it's so like inspiring. Like I think, I don't have any of that stuff, but I do purposefully, I'm always like, I do got to remember my family that has passed on. And I try to purposely remember, history and just stories and things like that. I'm always like, oh yeah, I remember this and that. So I do personally take time out, sit in my chair here, close my eyes and I'll just dive into my memories. So look at this cute little Santa photo. I saw this earlier. I think maybe when there were cookies or something on the screen, and I could see this in the background. What a pretty Santa photo, also. Candy canes until Christmas. The Jackson family candy cane since 2009. Candy cane co. So you take a candy cane off every day until you get to Christmas. I take it, right? That's pretty cute. I bet your house is just so decorative and so festive. It has to be. I saw this earlier and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. What does it say? I was all alone, it all alone. I don't know what that says. I thought I knew what it says. Love me all to something. But essentially it's just a Dear Santa letter. That is so antique-ish. Okay, I think that's all the pictures I downloaded. I tried. CPJ sent so many photos, and I was like, I wanted to use them all. I ran out of time. I didn't get a chance to pull them all down, and I was like, because I was like, I can just show them from my computer, but then I was like, I have other people's text messages, and I didn't want people showing up on there, right? She says the true China you see here, not the Czech, is my grandparents, so they got it around 1950. Okay. I skipped. There was she has a, uh, I don't know what to call it, but it has a bunch of china in it, china plates and stuff. Looks like she had some dolls or a little Santa jacket, maybe, or shirt hanging up. Here you can see the ornaments the kids decorated the tree with while Santa's telling them what they symbolize. Okay. Madeline's thing is on. Okay. So she says, and if anyone asks, next year's theme will be a vintage 12 Days of Christmas. I've already started collecting my antiques to go in the tree, like the vintage Queen Anne telephone. I have my grandparents. So I will get 4 cardinals to glue on top of it for 4 calling birds. I have a vintage bird cage. I'll get a stuffed partridge and sit it on a pear stick. It's going to be the topper along with 5 golden rings flying out of the top. I will put it all in the tree just like I have the elf, deer, and lamp. I see it in my head. Haha, I'm going to bring it to life. I believe it. I believe it, CPJ. You are, yeah, like, I mean, this is amazing stuff, seriously. I appreciate you sharing this with us. Um, she says here, I put a piece of paper from a hymnal each season in that typewriter. Wow. So it's that's awesome. Hutch. Yes, that's what it is. So I didn't get to show it, but she had sent me a picture of a hutch with a bunch of china in it, and it was gorgeous. Um, so anyway, that is the Christmas stuff. I was really excited. I'd love to hear what some of the stuff you're doing for Christmas in terms of like, what are you making? Put that in the comments. Like for me, some years ago, I talked about how I was doing, so traditionally we've done turkey, Thanksgiving, and Christmas forever. I was getting tired, and I don't know, maybe less than 10 years ago, I was like, I want to stop doing turkey for Christmas. And so I had introduced the family, and I was like, and we used to do ham too, but I cut the ham out sometime before that because I was like, having ham and turkey is just overkill. And I get it, but we just don't eat that much. And so cut out the ham. And then I was like, I just want to do away with turkey because having turkey Thanksgiving and Christmas for so many years, it just seemed like there's so much more out there we could do. So then I added rib roast or prime rib. And that went off well with the family every year. They loved it and they just wanted more and more. And the rib roasts were getting larger and larger and larger every year because everyone's like, I want some to take home. And I get it. So, because I'm like, I want some to keep home after y'all all leave. So please don't eat it all. You know what I'm saying? But this year we're doing something different. So my sister-in-law, she she went ahead and got what's called the Wagyu of pork, and it's called Iberico pork or Iberico pork. Okay, and you can look this up. Now, there's two versions of this, right? One is a hind quarter. It's the whole thing, and you can buy it. It costs some hundreds of dollars. That comes with this little setup gear that you mount the leg on, and it's a special carving knife too. And you slice pieces of the ham off and eat it. Now, this hog's leg has been hanging in a room in Spain for a minimum, I think, 3 years. And the longer, the more expensive it gets because the flavor just continues adding on. So they have hind legs in there or quarter legs, whatever, that have been there for 5 to more years. And you order this stuff and it's good. Now, you might think it's weird, but just think about if you've ever had prosciutto, right? It's a fancy bacon, basically. That's what this stuff would be. And it's called the Wagyu of pork because the fat marbling throughout it is everywhere. So if you touched a piece of this ham, it would start melting in your hands. Okay. Now, they also make the parts to the hog available, right? So, like a roast, pork chops, ribs, etc., etc., etc. Now, this is going to strike you weird, but just listen to me out. Listen out. Hear me out. Hear me out on this. This pork, this ibitico pork, you can cook it medium rare and eat it. And that's because, just like I was mentioning, how when you hold this pork, it starts melting in your hands because the fat is marbled throughout the entire of the meat. That so when you the idea is when you eat it, also your stomach acid's cooking enough so that you don't have to worry about getting sick off of it. And it has a very distinct flavor. So these hogs, excuse me, sorry, you can only find them in Spain, and they live off of so they have three classes. The premium pork or the premium hog lives off of a diet exclusive to acorns. And it's a special acorn that's there in Spain, and it's not even all over Spain. It's like this little, acreage. And so the hogs eat the acorns, and it produces a nutty flavor when you eat it, and it's a very umami flavor, right? So it's not very sweet or salty. It's umami is more like earth based, and so that's the kind of flavor it has. But you don't cook this stuff for long, and you eat it, and we'll see how it goes. I did get a rib roast backup just in case, so I'm going to cook both. Doesn't hurt to have extra, right? But we'll see how that goes. I don't know. We're kind of excited for you. Like I said, they call it the Wagyu of pork, and because when you look at, like, if you cut the meat, you'll see how the fat or the marbling is spread throughout it, like what you would see Wagyu beef. Okay. So we'll see. John, you're saying no, thank you. That's what I said. Just hear me out. So, I said there was three classes, and the top tier class eats nothing but acorns. The second tier class, they eat acorn mixed with a special feed, and then the third class eats no acorn and only the special feed. So, just FYI for that there. Okay. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's already 9:30. That's so crazy to me. It's so crazy. So anyway, I will take pictures of that for Christmas and post them up, and I'll let y'all know so that we can see. But I'm interested in what you guys are doing. Are you doing anything new? Because I know it's so easy to stay into tradition, and it's kind of like, if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of situation, right? I get that. But I do love venturing out and exploring and trying new things. I also tried recently a sourdough brown butter chocolate chip cookie that was out of this world. And so I didn't make it because I don't know how to make sourdough well, but I bought it from someone locally who does a cottage shop out of their home, and it was, oh my gosh, it was so good. So I ordered a couple dozens of those. I might need to order a couple more so I can give them to friends as gifts here. Okay, we'll see. Christmas. Yes. So all the family's coming here for Christmas, and we will be celebrating here. My sister-in-law wants to go watch Aquaman 2 on the theater. I didn't have the heart to tell her no, that I can't handle DC movies anymore, but we'll go watch it. We'll enjoy it because we're going to be doing it as a family, and we'll have a good time. So there's that. All right. What else for Christmas? Any other things I can think of that I haven't shared or said? No, there's not. So, all right. We're going to switch things up because I only have a few more minutes to do some other fun stuff. And so I want to talk about comic books. So if comic books is not your thing, that is okay. It is my thing, and I enjoy talking about it and love it. But before you go, I want to tell you about something that happened to me last week, comic book related, but also just more personal related. Okay. Um, let's see. I want to know what told your sis-in-law you want for Christmas. I want to know what you told your sister-in-law you want for Christmas. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's a good question too. Everyone, tell me what you asked for Christmas, and let's see if you get it. Okay, because that's a good question. I will show you CPJ. I will make sure specifically to share with you, but with everybody too. So, okay, I asked. There's a couple things I asked for on my list from my family, and I kept it a little small this year. I wanted two brand new monitors, two giant sized brand new monitors, curved screens, because I just do a lot of work on my computers. And so I need the retail space, if that makes sense. And I needed some high def monitors so I could do some of the work that I do. Not even for my job, just home projects that I like to do on the computer, right? So I run the show, I built the promos out, I help other people with their promos. I love looking at art, computer art, AI art and comic book art. And so I just like that high res look. And I watch a lot of TV on my computer at night. And so I wanted to do that too. But I asked for two 34-inch screens so they could sit side by side together in front of here. So I was kind of like, I really want that. I also asked for a smoker. I don't think I'm going to get it. This is the second year I've asked for it, but I have a feeling next year if I ask for it, I'm going to get it. But we'll see. We'll see. Um, and then I asked for this. Have you seen those? It's not an exercise bike, but it is an exercise tool that you put under your table. And because I work from home, and so that means I sit down a lot. Um, I also I bought me a sit stand desk so it raises with me. I didn't have to sit down all the time. But I asked for this like a bicycle, like a sitting bicycle. So you put your foot on it and you do the movements as if you're riding a bicycle. And so it's supposed to help, like, just help with blood circulation and just, it's not a replacement for actual physical exercise, but it just helps since for folks who sit down so much during the day or, just for work, whatever. It helps them so they can pump the blood a little bit more, which is what I want. So I asked for that. I guess essentially an exercise equipment. And with the sit stand and the monitors, I'm hoping that my new workstation at home is going to be revamped. Then I just need to add a new computer to it, nothing fancy, and we will be good to go. So that's what I asked for. So we'll see how it goes. I did ask also for some not burger smashers, but those heavyweight metal things that you put on meat. So I asked for that because I do like to cook steaks, burgers, and stuff like that on the Blackstone or during the wintertime at home inside the house. But I like those things because they push the meat down so it's evenly cooked. And that's amazing to me. So I asked for a couple of those. I asked for some comic book stuff, like some boxes to store my comic books in and some bags to put my, expensive comic books in. What else did I ask for? That's about it. That's about it. And I did tell my kids, I was like, look, if you really want to give me a gift where you don't have to spend any money, I would like a date with each of you. And it would be one where we're going to watch a movie that I want to watch from my childhood. So something like Transformers, the animated cartoon movie, or some animes that I watched when I was younger too. And I was like, but I want it all like decked out. So we got popcorn. I've got a cold pickle. I've got a cold soda with me. Um, Lots of popcorn. And we're able to just watch the movie without issues. There's no, oh, this sucks, Dad, or you know what I mean? Any of that. That we're just sitting down, we're watching it, we're eating our snacks, and I just want you to watch that movie with me. So I said, if you don't have the money for it, which is fine, I would love that. That would really make me feel good. Okay. Um, CPJ says, I got one of those desk bike suits. Oh, do you like it, CPJ? Do you use it? I'm really hoping to use it heavily because I just, when you sit down so much and it's like, ugh. So I just want to get a little bit more activity since I work so much at the computer. Okay. Um, Sean says it's on QVC. Yeah. CBJ says, ooh, put that weight on your bacon too. Oh, that's a good one. But see, here's the thing with bacon, CPJ. I use my air fryer to cook bacon. Oh, good. But here, the trick too for me is there are days that I want to cook like eggs and pancakes, but I love to cook it in the bacon fat. So I will cook the bacon on the stove instead. so that I can render that fat and use that to cook with the eggs, or the pancakes. And pancakes are awesome. When you cook pancakes in bacon fat, oh my God, it's so dangerously delicious. It is so good. If you have not tried that, do that. Cook your bacon in your skillet, leave the bacon in there, and cook your pancakes right in there. You can throw in a little bit of butter if you want that flavor, if you want that butter flavor, but the bacon flavor inside of your pancakes, oh, it's another thing. It is out of this world good. So make sure you try that out, okay? CB just says, I think you'll be impressed with how much the desk bike does give a little workout. Helps the core. Never anticipated that. Thank you, CBJ. So I'm glad if I get that, which I think I will, if I get that, I will be happy to use it. And I don't know if yours is like this, but the one I put on my list is like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So it uploads the data so that I can just keep track and stuff. And I don't know. I guess it's okay to keep that. I think my thing was, can I just be a little bit more active while sitting down? Because I need to be. I need to be. Okay. I don't think I'm going back to an office for a little while, so I want to make sure that I have enough what I need for at home. If you guys are working at home, and if you didn't know this already, like you should have some premium items in your home workspace. So if you're a heavy work from home person like CPJ is, like myself, you should have your nice comfortable seat that you sit on. You should have a nice comfortable or not, what am I trying to say? A desk that is conducive to what you want it to do. And even my mouse, look at this. I got this mouse that is vertical, because if you do that too much all day long, it can cause carpal tunnel syndrome. So when you put your hand in a natural position, the mouse, you know, it works out. And so I've got that. I've got nice keyboard, ergonomic equipment, and yeah, yeah. What CPJ says, I just got the Amazon cheapie, honestly. And I tried to ask for that too, but it was either that or this other one. So I don't remember what I put on the list anymore. It was one of those two, but I did feel like it was a bit expensive. But I thought, man, if ever to ask for anything expensive is during Christmas and to my family to see, because I would be okay if they all pitched in and got it for me. It'd be okay. You know what I mean? I'm not looking to get a lot. My main thing was I just want to get some activity back into my life, if that makes sense. You understand that. You all understand that. So anyway, make your home office comfortable for you, since you have to be there so much. That's what I say. Okay. Um, I did get my sit stand desk cheaply from Amazon too. It was like 120, and I had a gift card. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to use this so I can mount my new monitors to it if I get it, and put my desk cycle under it also. Right. Um, Anita says, what kind of desk chair is good to have? I work from home too. Okay, Anita, what I tell people is, so this chair that I had to get, I'm a big man, right? So I'm fluffy. I'm okay with that. But I need a chair that could handle me, because otherwise you can get a nice chair, but if you get one that doesn't support your weight properly, then it'll break faster than you want it to, right? So I found for me the perfect chair. I always look for chairs that cover 300 pounds at least. Now, they can get expensive, but I went to Sam's Club, and I've been going there every like 3 years, the last 3 years, at least 4 years. I've seen they consistently have this chair there, and I think it's like 100 between 150 and 200, which is an excellent price point, and the chair is great. I had to do customer service with them once because it stopped going up and down. They sent me a replacement piece to put on the bottom of the chair, and it was like easy peasy. It's starting to rip now because I work so much from home, and so I'm going to see if they'll cover that again, and if not, I'm okay if I have to buy another one eventually. It still works, so I'm not going to get rid of it right now. When it becomes unfunctional, I will get rid of it, but that's not the case where I'm at now, and it's not uncomfortable, so I like it. So the arm things, they're spread out wide enough where they're not hugging me, and if I lay back in my chair, I'm not worried about tipping over or it breaking or falling down, for me, again, because of my size. And so that's what I do. I always look, I need to make sure that I'm looking for a chair that will cover the weight that I need it to. All right. And with 300, that is more than I need. And so, but it just makes sure that I don't have any problems down the road. Okay. So do that. But like I said, check out Sam's if you can, and I think it's called Certa, CERTA or SERTA. And you'll look at there's like you'll see the little circle and it'll be like 300 lbs, and that'll tell you that it supports weight up to that. And if you see that one, like I said, I think it's within the 150 to 200 range. That's an excellent one. Now you can go to the big box stores, the uh what is it called? Office Depot, and see those chairs. Those will probably work out for you too. But I went there. I went to Walmart. I went to Target and all these places. And it was Sam's that I found this one and thought, man, this was great. And I was happy because they had a demo out on the floor, which I sat in and looked, and I was like, wow, this one actually feels good. And okay. And so I brought it home, and it's fantastic. It's fantastic, Anita. Anita, love that mouse. Yes. So this is a Logitech mouse. It's about $100, but the Logitech Vertical MX, and it's pretty fantastic. So Logitech has a software where, like, I have my work computer and my home computer. This mouse will work across both computers. It's so weird. Like, if I move the mouse far enough off to the screen, it just jumps over to my work computer. It's so weird. But yeah, Mr. Big Money. No, that's not the case at all. So anyway, that's that right there. So if you guys have any other questions about those things, let me know, and I'll be happy to share. What I'll try to do is I'll put some links to the chair, to the mouse, and to the sit stand desk, and even the monitors that I got. And if if you're looking to upgrade some of your life with those things, I would suggest those things. So that way you can see, because I actually did a lot of research. I asked a lot of people for help. And at the end of the day, I was like, okay, this was what was suggested. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go for that. I actually got some monitors from Amazon that were a little cheap, big, and had what I thought was going to be good for me. But then a buddy, he was like, yo, look, I'm over here at Walmart. These just went on sale for 200, which was like $70 less than what I was looking at. And their screen resolution was better than what I was getting. And so I was like, okay, since I don't game, I don't need it to be stupid high, but it's high enough where I'll get some extra benefit out of it while watching some of my shows and stuff. So it was great. I'll link them up so you can check it out and see if it's good for you. Okay. So just look on my Facebook or my Instagram for that later on tonight. All right. I want to get to some comic books because I'm really excited. Now stick around real quick because I want to tell you a story real fast. Last Wednesday I got to do a comic book and Christmas show, and I did comic books, and I had a few friends who showed up and encouraged me, and they were hanging out and doing a lot of talk and stuff. So the next day I was opening a box that got delivered, and I was actually chatting with one of the guys that I buy my comic books from. Okay. And if you don't know, and CPJ, you might look at this, but Whatnot, it's fun. If you want a link to sell on Whatnot, if you don't have one, let me know and I'll share my link with you. We'll both get some extra bonus money or whatever. But it's like if QVC met eBay and had a baby, that's what Whatnot is. Okay. You're streaming the items that you're selling, and people buy them live, and then you have to ship out within a day or two, and you get a really nice shipping break because Whatnot's leveraging its power as a huge entity. But anyway, so I was opening this box, and I was talking to the guy, and I was like, hey Jim, I just got a box from you. And I was like, I'm opening whatever comics I got from you. And so as I'm opening away, I'm like, wait a minute. And I look at the box, I'm like, you are Jim Adams, right? And he was like, yes. And I was like, oh no, he was like, maybe. And I was like, what did I order from you? I don't remember anything. And he was like, oh no. And so I was like, so I go ahead and open it, and I am lifting up this box, and I can tell as soon as I open the box, I can tell this isn't just any comic. And I was like, what in the I didn't get a slab from him, which is what these things are, right? And so I look up and I immediately see it like this. So I was picking it up, and then like that, I could see the yellow. And I immediately knew this yellow thing means that this comic book has been signed by someone. So as I continue moving it up, I see it says Scorch. I know immediately again that this means this is the Spawn comic book, which is Spawn's my favorite character. And sure enough, there they are. And there is the signature. Okay. This guy's name is Ryan Stegman. That's not even the funny part. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, what in the world, James? What? what's going on? And then I noticed this little card had fallen off, and I pick it up, and let me read you what it says here. It says, Jaime, I wanted you to have Chi-Chi's, but Joe wanted you to have an autograph. But for real, just a little something to lift your spirits from your favorite people in the world. Merry Christmas, Sandy Abbey. And so Sandy and Joe got me this for Christmas. Christmas slash to lift me up because they know how challenging it's been for me this year. And I haven't shared very much, if actually anything. I've just shared that it's been a rough year. And that is putting it very, very mild. Okay. But they sent this to me, and this was on Thursday, and I just start bawling my eyes out. Like that's how insane it's been this year. I was bawling my eyes out. I couldn't believe that Joe and Sandy did this. It made me feel like I'm like they've heard me say talk about comics, and they got me a comic book that they knew. So they knew that this score was a big deal to me. They knew that the yellow label was a big deal, and the fact that it's in this plastic thing is a big deal. So I was just like, it was overload. It was overload to feel the love from Sandy and Joe on this. And I know it seems like materialistic. It's a book, but to me, it was more like they thought of me, and it's so hard because it's been so challenging to not hear, to feel thought of or paid attention to. And again, there's just stuff, but it touched my heart so much that they were thinking of me, and I was just like, no freaking way. And so the waterworks were on full blast, y'all. The full blast. Like I couldn't stop crying. And I ran upstairs and I was telling my wife, and she's like, you're emotional because of comic book. And I'm like, I'm emotional because Sandy and Joe thought of me and they were trying to lift me up and encourage me. And I was just like, it just was too much. It was overwhelming. And so I'm sitting there texting them, and I'm like, I don't deserve you as friends. Like, I don't deserve you guys. You're too much. Like, seriously. Like, I can tell you by the stuff in this book, I'm like, this wasn't a cheap book, but it was just so touching. So it wasn't that, and of course that it's a comic book because I would appreciate it more. But the fact that my friends, just the fact that my friends were thinking of me and trying to just um just thinking and trying to lift me up and stuff, and all the pieces that go into it. I just was really like, it was just overwhelming. And I called Joe and Sandy, and Sandy doesn't know how to handle this kind of stuff. So she always jokes around, but she and I have talked about it, and I know that through her joking around, like that's how she expresses care, that's how she expresses love. And uh and um I was just I was just like, man, I just cannot believe y'all did this. And this is definitely one of my most special comics that I'll ever own because of that. Because of the care and the heart behind those guys. And so I had to tell, and I'm sort of glad that they're not here tonight so that I can share this and just not just not have them face me like this or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't mind getting emotional like this in front of the camera and whatnot because it's a happy thing. It's not a sad thing. It's not a hurtful thing. These are tears of happiness, and I am just like, um it was just touching. It's been touching. And I fell asleep. Like I fell asleep crying because I just was so just completely overwhelmed by those two um doing this. And yeah. Yeah, I don't feel like I deserve them as friends. And so that was so stinking thoughtful, you know. I can hear Sandy now. Yeah, bro, it's nice, girl. Yeah. Yeah. Something like that. She was definitely she was like, I thought you'd be mad because you didn't get any teachies on your book. And so she was like, it was so funny. It was so funny, and I just yeah, they're pretty special. They're not here tonight. Well, I'm not judging them or upset at that. They have through the years they've been there for me more than not. So it's not like I'm like, oh, they suck. I'll probably give them a hard time anyway, when they come back on and stuff. But ah, it was a really special it was a really special thing. So yeah, I had to share that because I know comic books is my thing, but I know that so it's friendships. So for them to have just gone out of their way like that and to encourage me, they're like, we just wanted to give you a little bit of light. No, it's been tough, and just wanted to, send you some love like that, and hopefully it just makes you feel good. And I was like, oh boy, does it make me feel good. I was like, it's so stinking thoughtful. I'm so happy. It makes me so proud. And I'm like, oh, I'm such a terrible, I'm a mess. I'm a mess. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. They really make this guy feel special, and their gesture does not go unnoticed. And I was just thanking God for them. I was thanking God over and over. I was just like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So that was really special with them. Anita says, all three of y'all are awesome people to us who log on to hear and see you. Thank you, Anita. Thank you. Yeah. So anyway, I am okay after that. I don't have much time left, so I want to get through a few comic books at least for me. So if you're not sticking around for the comic book show, that is okay. I understand. Thank you for sticking around this far. But I do want to show off some of my books because that is, like I said, it is what encourages me. And I love showing off comic book art, despite what Sandy says sometimes, right? So yeah. So okay. I want to show off some of these books. Check this one out. I love Storm. So anytime I see Storm on a cover, I'm like, I gotta have it. This is an older book, and she's from X-Men. And I am just like, yes, I love Storm is one of my favorite characters. She controls the weather, and she's just bad to the bone. So I love this. I love this issue right here. All right. Okay. Now this one, I'm not a particular fan of. This one is called Task Force Z, and I don't like them generally, but I did like this cover. I know it's very gross. I know it's very evil looking and whatnot, but I was like, at the time, I was like, oh, this is just really neat. I like it. Plus, every year they do this thing called Local Comic Shop Day. And so the publishers, DC, Marvel, Image, etc., they'll release certain books that are have this logo up here. And it's just a way for the publishers to promote comic shops around the country in hopes of getting regular people to visit a comic shop and see if there's something in there that they would like. And so, with these local comic shop day books, these are ones that they pick to say, hey, you should check this book out. So, anyway, but I like the cover. I like that it's a dark black cover. I like that there's a red skull on there. It just looks cool to me. All right, now this next one is really cool because you know that I'm a huge geek for him. But look at this. Like, this is so freaking awesome. Like, I'm a huge fan of Superman. I love this iconic pose. It's been around since the first iteration of the character. We've seen this with George Reeves played Superman, when Christopher Reeves played Superman. Every version of Superman has had this pose down, but the comic book, it just looks gorgeous. Like, I love how it's blue. It's him in his iconic pose. It's him in his suit. Like, it is just an absolute, just gorgeous. This is the way Superman should always be portrayed, in my opinion. Yes, I love this. Okay. And if you ever, there's a place called Metropolis, Illinois, which I visited. And once a year, they do a Superman celebration, and they have a giant statue of Superman. It is awesome. And he stands in this pose. And there's a fence around it, and he sits on a Superman shield emblem in the concrete. But you can walk in there. And so I got to take pictures, me doing the pose under Superman. It was phenomenal. It was so cool. But I do love this. I'm a sucker for, people are like, Superman needs to be more humanized and all this stuff. And I'm like, no, I love a Boy Scout Superman. I love the Boy Scout Superman. I don't need that changed. I need a character who is trying to be awesome and righteous all times. And I'm like, yes. So, all right. Here's another one. I love the art on this. This is Batgirl. And just look at that. Like, it's just whoever did the art, like, it's like, it looks a little high def and surreal at times. And one of the things I like about Batgirl is that the yellow on her costume, like Batman doesn't have that, but I like that Batgirl has it. What's that? Who did that? Lee Inyuk. That's the guy's name. So, but I like this, and I like the bats in the background too. Anyway, it's really just a cute comic cover. So, all right, and then here's another Superman book that I like. And this one's a shiny foil one. You see that? Can you tell that it's shiny? And so Superman appears in this book called Action Comics, and he's flying up there in the clouds with the geese too. It's just a really plain old type of cover, but I really like that. It's foily and nice. All right, here's another Batgirl that I like. And it's so cool because it looks just like the one we just saw. And I bet if I'm not mistaken, if I look for the signature. Oh no, I don't know who. Oh, Derek Chu. That's who did this one. But it looks like the one we just saw, which makes sense. But like even the face, like it looks like her. And I like the action pose. You see how everything around her is blurred, like she's moving fast. So it's kind of like bullet time from the Matrix. Yeah, I dig that. All right. I like this one right here. This one's called Mercy. I have no idea what it's about, but I picked it up because I liked the cover. And there is a character that my daughter liked on a video game called Resident Evil. And the lady, she looked just like this. And so I was like, oh, I'll pick it up because it reminds me of that lady. And I think my daughter would like this cover, this comic. Oh, there's some comments over here. CBJ says, I don't eat fruit, like at all. But pineapples are my thing now because of you. I even bought a pineapple plant in honor of your dad. Our friends think things become our thing. Our friends' things become our things. That's what love does. I know. I saw that picture of that little pineapple whenever you showed me. It was so stinking adorable. Little kitty pineapple pie. CPJ says, and in absence of Sandy, I will say it. That girl had. I'm glad that the spirit of Sandy is not absent from the show, even though she may be. Well, now that you say that, I'm not going to show this cover. You remember I talked about Ghost Rider being one of my favorite comic characters because of my mom's connection with her brother, and he loved Ghost Rider. But this was cool because back in the 90s, there was this magazine called Wizard, and Wizard was kind of like it was like a magazine that kind of just did stories on the different artists, publishers, the video games, comic books. It was mainly centered around comic books, but it touched all the different adjacent topics with it, right? And then it was also a price guide. At the back of the book, you'd see prices for some of the comics. So it was cool. But every now and then, they would put this thing in there like a coupon that if you mailed it off, you would get this free book. You would get a book that was called Wizard Half. And so just like you'd have issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, you'd have issues that were half. So before issue 1. And that's what this is. So there's a lot of them that are out there, but this is one that I have. And it was cool because they also came with this fancy little certificate. The certificate of authenticity is what they call these. And it just says, yes, this book is what we say it is. So I like that. Now, there was a time in the past where this third publisher was coming out, and they were called the Ultraverse, and this was their version of the X-Men, and they were called Freaks. And so they were, it's just the same story of the X-Men. And if you collected two of these, the first issues all came with this coupon. So if you got two of these together, you could send it off and they would give you a what was called Ultraverse issue 0. So there were so cool gimmicks back in the day when they do comic books, right? And it came with this card too down here that you see. Mm, that's some of the team of the Freaks. And later on, this comic book series would, or not just that one, but the entire publisher themselves. Here's their another comic in their world called Prototype. Um, Marvel would come in and actually buy Ultraverse and would fold Ultraverse into the Marvel line, and they would do like tie-ins, team ups with Avengers, X-Men, different baddies with the Ultraverse. I don't really know what happened to the Ultraverse universe. I'll have to look it up and see, but I like that. All right, and then um, you know what? Let me show some of these. So I'm going to show off some of these, what we call slabs, which are the ones like Sandy and Joe got me. This one is a popular one. A buddy sent this to me last year, and I was so happy when he got it. Now, it doesn't have as high a grade, but that's fine because the book is a little old. Um, this is the first appearance of Doomsday. So this is the guy that we would all come to learn would kill Superman the first time, and that made the news everywhere. And so this is the book where Doomsday makes his first full-on appearance. It was such a nice gift from you, Gabe. I appreciate you if you're watching. I love when I see this and I think about, I love seeing my books and seeing the backstory behind it too. Not the inside story, but seeing last year there was a comic book exchange he and I did. And this is one of the books he sent me. Now we had told ourselves we were only going to do like a, like $100 or $200 max, whatever. When I started doing my books that I was sending to him, I'm like, dude, I am sending you more than $200 worth of books, but I'm okay with that. So I'm not asking you to match it. I'm just letting you know you're going to see some stuff in there. And his was the same way. And when I saw this in there, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you sent this to me. So that was really cool. Okay. This one, I tell you what, like God, I really feel like God just loves me at times. Okay. Let me just say that. So this book, I'm not a huge fan of Batman, but this artist, his name is Michael Turner. That's his signature kind of thing right there. I don't know if you can see it well. But anyway, I'm a big fan of Michael Turner. In fact, he was an artist that died when I stopped. There was a period of time when I stopped collecting comic books. And when I came back, I learned that he had passed away. And I was sad. And because I loved his art like this, like you can look at this. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, when I saw someone who was showing this off, I was like, can you tell me who's that artist? And I had a feeling it was Michael Turner when they said, oh, let me see and look. And they're like, oh, yeah, it's Michael Turner. And I was like, oh, my God. I was like, I had no idea that he did DC characters. I thought he only did this publisher over here. And they're like, no, it has because this was just released this year or last year. And I was like, there's a new book that has Michael Turner's art on it. What in the world is going on? I needed this. And so I was like, in the chat on that whatnot, I was telling people, Michael Turner, this, that. He left before he needed to. He was an artist, like beyond his time, and so sad that we lost him so young. And so I was just like, man. And we were bidding on the book, and it was going higher than I could afford. And I was like, maybe some other time. The guy that won it ended up gifting it to me, and I was like, my mind was blown away. I was like, wait a minute, you don't know me. What did you do that for? He was all like, I felt like it needed to go home to you. I just felt like it needed to be yours. And I was like, what? I just could not believe it. I was like, this is like easily $150. Why did you? I was just blown away. And he was like, yeah, something was just telling me that you should be the one to take it home. And I was just like, but you won it. It was like, wow, it was amazing. So I have this bad boy in my collection because someone felt that it needed to come home with me. That's the story. That's why I say, God, I accept the blessings, but I'm like, I'm not worthy of these things. I'm not worthy of people's attention, but God is amazing, is what I'll say. That's what I'll say. God is absolutely amazing. Um, Anita says, "Wow, nice comic books. Love that Batman. Right? It's very pretty. It's very crisp." Anita, wow, love that story. What a nice. Yes, his name was Dr. Richards. It's so funny. His name was spelled really weird, and I was like, "I'm just gonna call you Dr. Richards because I also think you're a doctor." And he was like, "You're right." And I was like, "Shut up." And one day I got to meet him over like this, where he was broadcasting some comics of his, and I was like, he had comics everywhere that he hadn't even opened yet. And I was just like, "Do you need any help opening those? I would be glad to come over and do that with you." Okay. And and sure enough, he was a doctor. And I was just like, I cannot believe he sent that to me. It blew my mind away. Blew my mind. All right, moving on. Running out of time. I got a list about 10 minutes left. All right. Let me do this one first because this one has a fun story behind it that I want to share with y'all. Okay. Um, so it's funny sometimes some of the stories behind comics, right? Because it's not just again the story inside the comic book, but the reason of the comic book. So here's one that's called Almost American Issue One, and it's by a comic company that has closed down. And again, you remember with the yellow label. And so this is Almost American, and it has their signatures on it. Now, it's a low grade, but I'm okay with that still. The story behind this is pretty fantastic. This comic book is one that models real life, meaning these two people that signed it, whose signature on here, they were actual spies for the US government. And after they got done with their duties and they retired and everything else, they decided to take their stories and turn them into comic books. And this is issue one of their story. I don't know how far they got, if there was more, if they only did one, but this is those spies. Those spies' names are Janosh, Janosh Newman, and it was a woman and a man, and Victoria Newman. Oh, they were married. Okay, here we go. And it actually has a third signature, Ron Mars. Ron Mars is the story. He wrote the story, so they told him he created the story for it. But yes, Janosh and Victoria Newman, and it's funny because not funny, but their name Janosh is spelled Janosh, and Victoria is spelled Victorya. And so, yeah, this is their comic book. This is a comic book version of one of their missions. Pretty neat, huh? So that's what I was saying. Like stories behind the book sometimes. It's pretty interesting. All right. The last slab that I want to do is this bad boy. Again, you see the yellow, right? So it means it's been signed. This book was signed by an artist named Ryan Kincaid. This is Batman Superman issue 1 from 2019. It's got a grade of a 9.8, and this is what they call sketch. So it's when the comic cover isn't filled in with all the color and it looks like it's just the pencil drawn. That's what it is here. But you'll see there's Superman, Batman. That is a nice cover. That is very cool. I wouldn't mind seeing the cover colored in also, but I love these sketch covers. And then you can see his signature down there. This was a gift from a buddy last year, also for Christmas. So, like I told him, I sent him some books that were more than what I was aiming for. He did the same. He had sent me books, way more books than I sent him, and it was more than what the agreed upon amount was. So he is a great guy. But anyway, that's those are the comic books that I wanted to share with you all tonight. And I appreciate you guys letting me share some of the joys and love and things that I have in life. And honestly, this is the last show before Christmas. I will be back next week because I want to do some. What was the after Christmas party like? I want to share some more comic books because it just helps me bring some joy in my life. And so if it brings me joy, I don't mind sharing that with y'all. It doesn't have to, I'm not aiming to bring you down, but if it lifts you up, great. Um, there was something specific I was going to ask or tell y'all. Oh yeah. No. I already said that. I was talking about Aquaman. But anyway, so yeah, hopefully next week when we come back, you'll bring some of your stories. You'll fill the comments in with some gifts that you got, some good food that you ate, some memories and something funny that you did with your family and friends. And I will make sure to post the links again, Anita, specifically for you. Oh, wait, can you get on Facebook or can you get on Instagram? Is it easier if I put that information in Instagram or Facebook? I think you're going to say Instagram. So let me know for sure, okay? And that way I can make sure you have the links to the items that I own in my home. And then maybe even CPJ, if you want to do that too, so we can compare, you could throw it in the comments too. Or maybe that's what I'll do. I'll put it in the comments on YouTube for you, Anita. Maybe I'll just put it in a bunch of different places. But let's come back and let's see what we all got next week and see what our families, how much we enjoyed them. Wink, wink. Okay. And so I just want to say thank you to all you guys hanging out with me tonight. Okay. It was a blast. And I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas. I hope that you eat well, that you laugh a lot, and that you enjoy family and friends and or just alone time, whichever way you play it. And I can't wait to see y'all next week. Okay. All right, everyone. Love y'all. Have a good night. Merry Christmas.